very emphatic, usually with a claw. My nose.
Yeah,
Sylvester.
this little bugger right here
Look
is
at that.
my little wake up cat.
Oh my God, he's so photogenic. My
what
cat,
a lovey.
my cat runs away. Run away, cat.
He's very much considering it. His eyes on there. He's like, why am I being held here? Who are
So
all of you? Why are you not
so
worshiping me?
handsome.
Why am I not getting immediate treats?
Handsome.
Which is far away.
No, you're a pretty boy. You know you're a pretty boy.
All right, here we are. We are on the Book of Faces. Thank you all for joining us. Welcome to Book Club, our virtual book club. We love being here. And good. And I can see your chats, your comments. So if I miss calling on you and you have a burning question, please do just post it out. Bill is also watching. So we're going to start in the sort of traditional fashion. And I'm going to go around our virtual room and call on you to share something you liked about the book. And since it's the start of the year, please share something that you hope will happen in book club this year. So it's a two-part question. Share something you liked and share something you hope we will do in book club in 2021. If you hated the book, share something you hated. But I hope you liked it. All right. So, Jeanette, would you start us out?
Well, first I have to start with a confession, which is that I haven't finished it yet.
That's all right.
So I'm about 60% of the way through.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You know, considering I started reading it today.
Oh my goodness. You make good progress. Well done, you.
Oh yeah. I read pretty fast, and fortunately I have no kids or any real distractions, so I can really just read.
Only the felines.
Yeah. Just the cats, and if I sit still long enough, they sit on me, and that's fine.
So what is something you've enjoyed so far about the book?
I really like the characters. I really like how things are kind of like I like alternate settings that are kind of like things I recognize. So of course, you know, Mr. Guy is clearly a fae creature of some kind and called something else. But I really have enjoyed the characters. I like her writing style. I enjoy how there's just like you don't find out how tall Miles is until like halfway through the book, and he says something about how this mirror is on the walls above his 6 feet. And I like that. That's kind of fun to just get those details as you need them, instead of here's my paragraph of description of each character, even though you don't actually see them.
Right.
Or like it's not, the camera's not on them, it's from them.
I love that. That's a good way of describing it. And
so I do like that.
What's something you're hoping for in the coming year of Virtual Book Club?
Wow. Actually, I might have a book we can put on the list.
Oh, you should definitely message me with that.
Yeah. One of my internet friends is a published author, and he's done 3 or 4 steampunk style novels, and I like all of them. So
all right, good.
So I'll be sure to pass that on.
Yes,
he might even be willing to meet with us.
All right.
Like he's pretty shy, but again, he's been my internet friend for like 20 years. So he might actually be willing to do me this favor.
Good. Well, we're usually very nice here, so I've never had us not be nice.
Right.
All right.
No, I'm just looking forward to us continuing to meet. I really like being able to see you guys online, and as much as I'd love to drive up to Tucson every month, I do a lot of traveling already when it's not plague time. So
well, and it'd be very hard for Karen or Sharon or Charity or Cindy.
That's a big trip.
Actually, about 2/3 of our group would have a very hard time being here. So we will continue to have virtual book club.
I'll stop complaining then about the whole hour and 20 minutes it would take me to get there.
Yes. The hour and 20 minutes we can stop the clock instead. All right, thank you, Jeanette.
Try 24 hours.
I
Right.
mean, really. All right, Karen, you turned off your microphone. You're next.
Okay.
That's how we're going to do. All right.
I finished it. Yeah.
Yay!
At
Excellent.
1 o'clock this morning,
Oh,
and
lovely.
got about an hour's sleep before everything happened.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Actually, I haven't read a book this fast in quite a while.
Oh, lovely.
I read about that much,
Oh,
and then yesterday I read that much.
oh my goodness. It's a real page scorcher, isn't it?
What I liked
Oh,
is
yeah.
there's two things that I liked. One you've touched on already, Jeanette, is I'm not usually a big fan of first person. Usually I pick up a first person book and I go, oh, and put it down. But I really love the voice, the writing, and it's like Jim Butcher. You read it and you don't realise it's an I until a bit later. So it's sort of that I really liked. And I'm glad that there wasn't too many torrid bits in it. Didn't get too torrid. I'm glad about that.
Not too torrid.
Not too torrid. No, which because I don't like full on. Yeah, and I would like to see some Australian authors, and I've got one here, Felicity Banks. She has Heart of Brass, and the second book, I think the third one's just about to come out. And I think you'll like that.
Please send me her name and the name of the book, because I will not remember. Be honest, I'm not.
And Sharon has a book too.
Oh, Sharon has a book too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Heart
Sharon.
of Brass is amazing. Just so you know, I loved it.
Oh, good.
It was good, isn't it? And again,
I'm
it's the
taking notes,
writing
Madam.
style really is really easy to read, isn't it? And from my point of view, seeing Australian, it's set around Melbourne in the time of the gold rush, and so it's nice to see books that are set in Australia and recognise stuff in that, like the last book where you guys recognised stuff but I had no idea. So, but yeah.
Yes. All right. Lovely. Lovely. We will definitely look into that. If you will be our emissary to Felicity Banks, Karen, we will invite her to join us.
Yeah. She has health issues, so I'm not sure that she can make it, but I'll ask her, because she'd probably like to if she could, I think.
Yeah, no, that'd be lovely. I'm very keen. Also, we'll talk about something else related to a virtual weekend in April.
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right. So, Charity, you turned off your microphone. Oh, you turned it on. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
So I got the audiobook for this book because I knew I had to clean my bedroom and organize things and actually work.
Oh, what?
And I burned through it super fast, and then I read it immediately because I knew I missed stuff. And oh my God, the character development was amazing. I love the time setting because it felt, oh yeah, it's post World War I. Yeah, no bigs. And
Right.
then it wasn't, and it was mind blowing. And the ending threw me off so much. I ran out of my room. I looked at my best friend and I said, I have to get the second book immediately. Oh my God.
Right. No, I'm glad that the second book's already out. So
The third book comes out February 16th. I already checked. I need it.
All right, Charity, what's something you hope for the coming year in book club?
All of your recommendations from every single one of you in the group, because you all have good taste.
Thank you, Charity. Yeah, no, everyone here does have very good taste and has kept me in books for the past year. So, all right, Laura Former, hello, my darling. Hello.
Hello.
So good to see you.
Thank you.
What is something that you liked about the book?
I really love the setting of the book. I really love the world. And I'm looking forward to reading the second book. I checked it out from the library today. So I will be starting that soon. I got the book yesterday. Yeah, yesterday morning, and finished it off really quickly. So
Oh my goodness. It is I feel like it's such a page turner.
it really is.
Down. So what is something you hope for in the coming year of book club?
Just, keep me in books, guys.
Our best. All right, Lady June Squill, you're coming up, my darling.
Well, I want to say that I think this is the best book we've read in a long, long, long time. And for once, I wish the author were here so that I could say that to them, because there have been times when I haven't been quite as happy with the books.
It's all right. We're not all
no.
going to like everything, but
Anyway,
this one's very good.
I loved it, and I read it really fast, of course. So I sat down today to try to review it, but then I was like, oh, and I started reading every page, and so I only got partway through reviewing it. But I think it's wonderful. I don't think the second one's as good, but it's because you've set up the world, you know, and I look forward to the third one because I really do love the characters. I don't love the sister quite as much as I love Miles, but
No.
and Tristan. I love Tristan.
I hate Grace with a passion, so I'm with you, Jane. Or June, I'm with you. Grace is horrifying.
Yeah, well, the second one is Grace's story. Anyway, and what do I hope we read? I would love to see us read something else by Gail Carringer, because she's my favorite in the whole world.
Well, you know, Gail does all of those lovely self-published digital books, and so I will
I have to be careful with some of those. I don't think Karen would like them. They're a little too horrid.
But you know, there are.
I've read all the Gail Carriger ones, but I probably wouldn't read the GL Carriger one.
No,
No,
they're excellent.
they're wonderful. But
they're probably very well written, but I'm just not into.
Yeah.
We also won't be reading the Iron.
More of a sweet romance person.
So
they're sweet romance. They're just not the. Anyway, I would love to see us read something else.
That's just not all there is.
Right.
That's right.
Good. We will.
Anyway.
We have some choices there, so we'll pick one.
Yeah.
Right. So, Robin, my darling, hello. Good afternoon.
Agree with the hatred of Grace, with the passion of 1,000 suns.
I'm so sad. I'm sorry. I said that out loud.
It's the perfect pretty princess sister, and it's like, you didn't see this betrayal happening? I saw it. You weren't expecting it, Charity. Exactly. You're like, curse your obvious inevitable betrayal, people.
Right.
You know, because she's daddy's girl and always has been, but she slightly redeemed herself. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I really enjoy this book. I finished it like an hour ago, and I was kind of read it over the last couple of days, partially at work in between screaming people. But I really liked it. I also really liked his sort of point of view and kind of the way he described the world, but from a doctor's point of view. Because you don't see too many books where the main character is a doctor. Like the only one I can think of that I've read recently was the Greta Helsing series, which if y'all haven't read it, it's Greta Helsing. Author is Vivian. First name's Vivian. I can't think of the last name. I'm gonna Google this.
I cover in my head, but I can't think of the name. So what is something you hope that we will do in 2021 with Book Club?
Be out of quarantine.
No. Yes.
Well, for most of you, I'm an essential worker, so I leave and then have to deal with things and people. But it would be very nice, Madame Askew, if you were no longer in quarantine. That is my hope for the end of 2021.
I would love to discuss books with you in person as well, Robin. That would be very nice.
Gaslight. It would be so lovely if Gaslight could actually happen this year.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Cross all the things.
All the things. All right, Robin, thank you so much.
Wait, hold on. I'm looking at Greta Helsing by...
Oh, thank you.
Vivian Shaw. Vivian Shaw is the name, which if you haven't read, it's 3-book series. Really, really good. Like...
I just posted a link.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, very good. Thank you. Okay. Alicia, hello, my darling.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. What is something you liked about the book?
I think much of what other people have said is just the world that the world that's created, and just the use of there's this hierarchy of magic, which you don't normally see. It's usually just, oh, they're all the best and blah, blah, blah. And it's not. There's this, it's very political, but unlike, reading like Chapter House Dune, it doesn't destroy the story. It's there, it's important, but it doesn't take away from the wonderful characters that are there. And I was really surprised that I would like the book, because as I was reading, I'm like, oh, there's going to be lots of kissy bits. Ugh. And there were, but it was part of the story. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It like it needed to be there. So I really liked that. I don't know, for next year, I think just to be the hell out of quarantine. I'm going nuts here.
Yes. Well, I mean,
in hell.
May we all get an opportunity to discuss books in person. If you do think of a book you think we should possibly read for book club, you should definitely share that with me or Bill or both of us. If there is some format thing or some additional thing you'd like to see happen, also please put a bug in my ear and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I've read a ton of books this year. Some are steampunk, some are not.
Right. All things are good.
Yeah, currently I'm stuck in a Napoleonic War, so
Great fashion, beautiful boots, lots of tassels.
Best boots, great savers.
Yeah, absolutely.
There.
All right. Thank you, Alicia, very much. All right, Cindy. Hello, my dove.
Which one?
Oh my goodness, there are two Cindys, of course. Cindy Bedford from Canada.
Yes, your emotional support Canadian at your service.
Thank you, my dear.
Thanks.
I have to say I didn't love this one. I liked it, but I think that might have more to do with the mood I'm in than the book itself.
I absolutely understand that.
I just finished binging Bridgerton on Netflix. So I went out and bought all the books.
Oh.
Two this weekend, and in the middle I squeezed in Witchmark. So my mind is in Regency England, not in an alternate universe. So I had a hard time getting into it.
Yeah, sure.
And I did like the characters, love Miles and Tristan. Hate the sister with the heat of 1,000 suns. Yes. I found the world a little too hard for me to get into. It was a little complex. I think I like being drawn in a little faster. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I read it all the way through, but I'm not sure I'd read a sequel. It didn't pull me in that much. But again, that probably has more to do with my mood than it does with the writing, which was very good. It was very well written, excellent characters. They felt real to me, which to me is, that's what good writing is. If it feels like those are real people to me, then that's a well-written book. It's not a character, it's a person.
Yes. I love that about, books when they draw me in and it feels like it's very, very real. I mark that as good book as well. You and I shall have to discuss the Bridgerton books privately, as I have read them all. I'll be happy.
I shall by the end of the week.
They're very fast reads. So, but perhaps you'll give this a try when you're in a different mood and see how it feels to you then. It is very different from the Bridgerton stories, though.
Yes.
Thank you, Cindy Bedford, Cindy B. Cindy Joy. We'll do this 2 Cindys back to back. Hello, Cindy.
Well, it's because Cindy's come late to the party.
Cindy's bring all the joy.
I read the Bridgerton books and then binged the series on Netflix. So I had to read the book before I could watch the Netflix show. So.
I have opinions, but that is like very tangential to our discussion today. So
I finished the book for the book club 5 minutes before I got on.
Oh, perfect. very fresh in your mind. So what is something you liked about the book?
Fresh on my mind, but not fully developed opinions yet. But I really liked the world building, and I really liked the character development. I liked the interaction of the characters, and I liked how it's revealed throughout the books that there's all these witches walking around, and people just don't know that they're there, and unless they reveal themselves. And then you're like, really? You were there right in front of me, my best friend, all the time? And
the whole time.
That was, yeah.
The whole time.
And, that they have to hide themselves because of this fear of examination and being sent off to asylums, and even the top echelons, they're hiding that they're witches, but they're not really hiding very hard, with the stepping out of their carriages in the middle of the street and stopping and calling down a rainstorm to stop a fire. That was
not very subtle.
Like, oh, it's a miracle. What that was, yeah. But I liked the character development and the world building, and I have 5 sisters, so I understand having a sister who and they're all very different people and very strong personalities. And actually, I lost one of my sisters last year, so I don't actually still have 5 living sisters. But all very strong personalities, all very different people, and not all of them are easy to love. But I love all of them, and I understand that you've got these sisters that they're very complicated in their ambitions and in what drives and motivates them, and they can be at cross purposes, and they can be conflicted, and so I don't hate Grace with the power of 1,000 suns. I feel like she might have turned out a little bit differently if Miles hadn't run off to war. But Miles would have turned out differently too, and they would have both been in very different places, and the story would not have wound up where it did at the end, if Miles had never gone off to war and developed his healing skills and done all the things that he did, and if Grace had never had to confront the idea that there was any value to any of the powers other than just storm calling.
Right.
Which and how do you decide to settle in a place to start with if you have to have these powerful people to control the weather to have the place be habitable in the first place?
Well, I live in the desert, so don't ask me.
I live in the desert too. So I live in the high desert, and you live in the slightly lower desert.
Yeah, no. So thank you very much, Cindy Joy. Do you have a hope for the 2021 book club, and anything that you hope to see in 2021 for book club?
Well, so I joined like in October, and was several book clubs in October, and it was immediately hit with horror novels. So that was kind of so I'm liking the no horror novel theme for the rest of the year.
All right, good.
But
good. Well,
yeah, so
normally we don't do quite so horror. In years past, for in-person book club, we normally do something spooky and less horror in October. So we may not have another horror novel in this coming October. I don't read horror, so I normally don't gravitate towards it. But
and your horror pick was much better than my other book clubs.
Oh, good.
Horror picks.
Good to hear. All right, thank you, Cindy Joy. Bill, I'm coming round to you, my friends. Hello, Bill. It's good to see you.
Hello.
Hello. Is there anything you would like to share that you enjoyed about the book, and any hopes for book club in 2021?
Yes, lots. So a couple of the people have touched on the characters that they they liked. The two characters that I found really interesting was Robin, the nurse, and the doctor's assistant, who was studying, I think, to become a doctor later.
Yes.
And of all people, the father, who, you know, wasn't on screen so much in this book, but obviously had a huge influence on everything.
Yes.
And then when he shows up, he's actually worse than we expect.
Yeah.
At least to my mind, he is a holy terror. So that was interesting. One thing that I found remarkable about this book was the way that her world building conjured a sense of place for me.
Mm.
And the sense of place had kind of more to do with an art style that I was imagining, you know, or design style. I was thinking that, you know, the hospital and all the sort of utilitarian buildings were sort of more really tired, worn out Art Deco, and the buildings of all the rich people were more like Art Nouveau. Yeah. I can't really put a finger on why that is so much, but that it conjured those images for me, and I started imagining them through that lens when she was describing the places, when the author was describing the different locations. So I found that really kind of intriguing.
She really did infuse her buildings and the world with that wonderful, visceral sensibility, not just the sound, the sights, the sounds, and even smells of the place. And so it really resonated for me as well. Beautiful. Bill, share what? So Bill and I organize book club together. So I'm certain there is quite the laundry list, but share one hope for book club in 2021.
I just hope we can continue to bring people fun books to read, and that hopefully book club will grow just a little bit, and we'll be able to provide a little bit more reach for some of these titles.
Excellent.
And I would encourage all of you to go out to Amazon or to Goodreads and write brief reviews of books that you like. It doesn't have to be a lot. Say, I like this book. I enjoyed this character particularly. I identified with them. You know, just a couple of sentences, please, because it means so much to authors when they get those reviews, and especially for Amazon. There's like a certain, I'm vague on the details about this, unfortunately, but there's a certain number of reviews that you need to get to 10. Is it 10, Karen? 10 reviews to get sort of have your books highlighted a little bit better. So those make a huge difference. So please do that this year with some of your favorite books. Just go out and put out a little bit of a blurb on it. Excellent. And let people know why you enjoyed it. That you enjoyed it is really enough.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, no, the reviews are very important. So, Anne, have I called on you yet, my dear? No, it's your turn. Hello. You are still muted. There you go. There you go. Hello, Anne.
Yeah, once again, I didn't read the book, but am I too low?
Yeah, oh, that's better. Oh, much better.
I missed you guys. So even though I didn't read the book, I wanted to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad you joined us.
What I look forward to is, like you said, making it grow, because I love your faces, but I'd like to see more too. It just, it makes me happy to be here. So
thank
you guys have helped me through a lot this year. So thank you.
You're welcome, Anne. And yes, Anne is a perfect exemplar. If you finish the book or not, we want to see you. Sometimes there are spoilers, but usually we don't focus too much on spoilers.
I don't mind the spoilers. I didn't read it, so it's my fault.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Anne. Thank you for joining us. And
Thank you.
I missed all of you too, so I'm happy to be back to book club. All right, Laurel. Hello, Laurel. Hello. How good to see you. Would you share something you liked about the book?
I agree with the people about the world building, but I was also interested in the problems of the books. The assumption that if the need of society is great enough, you can force someone to do work they don't want to do. The problem of the returning soldiers really grabbed me.
Yes.
And I come from a family, the relationship between him and his sister was very interesting, and I do not hate Grace, mainly because the second book is Grace's book, and she grows a lot. So I love to see that kind of character development, even though it's also got a lot of politics in it, which is not my favorite thing right now. But there was a lot to like about this book, and I basically came to this meeting because I'd already read the book, and I thought, oh look, they're discussing a book and I don't have to worry about whether the library has it because I already read it.
Excellent. Well, Laurel, I'm so happy you came and joined us. We meet every third Sunday of the month virtually like this, except we took December off. And we try, by we I mean I, try and get the books out as an event page about a month in advance. But we always announce the next book at book club. So
I do have one question.
Yes.
Is there a list of books that you've already done?
Yes, there is.
Somewhere. So
it's on Goodreads. Does anyone have the link to that Goodreads list? We have two. We have we used to have in-person book club, which has run for almost 10 years. And so that's a very long list. And then we have our virtual book club list, which Bill is kind enough to keep updated for us. So we will post that for you. We also have a Facebook group called the Temporal Textual Talks, and you are very welcome to join us there. We post links, we talk a little bit about the books and books in general there. It's not a very wildly active group, so it won't fill up your feed, but it's a very friendly group, and so it's a good place to talk about books. And I'm very, very happy you found us and joined us, by the by. So it's nice to meet you. All right. Connie Bottini, my darling, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Your smiling face.
They have to smile because it hides so much.
I feel that. Did you enjoy the book this month?
I really liked the book. I listened to the book. I either got it from Hawaii or San Francisco Public Library.
Oh, lovely.
And it was, yeah, I always try, when I talk to other libraries, I always go, oh, I'm a library junkie, but really I'm just a library whore.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I really liked it. I liked the character development. And I don't know, listening to a book, like having somebody read you the story is so much, it brings a whole nother character into it. So it was like really nice. And as everybody says, I really like the character development. And I am so want to know more about Nurse/Dr. Robin, because she seems very fun.
Oh.
And actually, I like Grace too, because it was like, I think, oh, why is she so mean? But hey, but that's what I like about most people, is because they're slightly mean, but good on the surface. And you know what I really want to find out is more about, I guess it's Miles' landlady. Why can she read tea leaves?
Right.
And it was like, oh, what are they not really telling about more people that have more magic that they don't let out because it's such a get thrown into the asylum.
Right, very taboo.
Yeah.
So, Connie, what is something you hope for book club in 2021?
well, since this is my very first time joining, I see it all the time. I thought, oh, I'm just excited about seeing where you guys go from and what do you guys do. It's like, so it's all new. I love the new.
I'm so happy you've joined us, and I hope you continue to read along with us. For I know Connie from years of steampunking, so I'm very happy Connie is here. Thank you for joining.
Did you see that Gaslight posted dates?
I did not, but I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah, so hopefully it's at the end of October, or the beginning of October, so hopefully it's further out.
Everyone, get your vaccines when you can.
Yeah.
Thank you, Connie. All right. Liz J, are you there? Liz was here earlier, so hopefully Liz will be back.
I'm here.
Okay, good.
I'm not, yeah, I was, as you could see, I was muted and it took me several seconds to get unmuted.
Oh, it does that.
So,
It's
well, you know, when you're like, when you have your phone actually like locked, it takes you a couple of extra seconds. So, okay, so I am not actually 100% sure of what book we read. Did we read Witchlight? Was that the book this month?
We read Witchmark.
Wait, is that the same? Oh. Okay, I might just be misremembering the title.
It's all right.
I am not good at social media.
It's all right.
And if the book title was in the actual event posting, I was not able to find it because I am just not good at.
Are you still there, Liz? You cut off. So I will say, until Liz is back, let me just say, if you can't find the book title or some information in an event posting, usually the fault is mine, that I haven't written things in a way that's useful. So message me or Bill, we will tell you directly. But also sometimes the Book of Faces, tool that it is not always a great tool. So it is flawed in some ways.
I had to learn that when you go to the page, you have to click on discussions.
Yes.
I didn't know that the first 2 months. So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
No. I had forgotten that it was 2 months ago. So I had forgotten that. I was like, why can't I find the link to the Zoom? And then I was like, oh God, okay.
Yeah,
I'm old. I'm old and signed up for the shot, but I not yet got a date.
I'm glad you signed up for the shot.
Oh, I did it as quick as possible, but I still didn't get into the first. I want to have it done at Tucson Medical Center, which is close, and I guess they didn't have as many slots. But since I'm old, I guess I can get one at some point. Or two at some. My daughter was over today and we were discussing it, and she was talking about what they're doing at the university. So
I'm glad you're signed up. Yeah, and also Facebook changed how event pages looked and were managed in this past year, and they made everything a little bit harder to find.
Right.
So great. Thank you so much. I love it very much. Please fix it more in this way.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, I think that Liz lost her connection, so I'm going to come round to Sharon, also in Australia. Hello, Sharon. Would you like to speak? I know you don't want to be seen on the camera. You don't have to speak.
Hello.
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 Please share something you liked about the book, if you liked it.
I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to read it. I've been spending Christmas in hospital.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've only just sort of got home to my own house.
Are you feeling a bit better, Sharon?
Yeah, a lot better. I'm actually feeling a bit confused this morning. It's Monday morning here.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I'm trying to get back into the real world where I've got bills to pay and errands to run, but I wanted to pop in and say hello to you because I've missed you.
Well, we've missed you too, Sharon. And someday, perhaps we'll actually get to meet in person. Knock on wood.
That'd be good. Yeah.
So Sharon, I'm very happy you're feeling better and you're able to be with us. And I'd like to know something you're hopeful for book club in 2021.
I'd hope that I'd actually get around to reading a book once in a while.
I shall hope that too, absolutely. But you know, as I said earlier, whether you've read the book or finished the book or not, we always want you to join us, because really the most important part is having a fun, lively conversation about books. So I'm glad you came.
I like to listen in because, you know, it might be a book that I decide to go out and buy.
Absolutely. Oh, good. Thank you very much,
me, Sharon.
Sorry, what, Karen?
You can borrow it off me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Lovely. Little lending library in Adelaide.
Yeah.
I promise we're not all going to hospital in Adelaide. I promise.
Good. Yeah.
Just the two of us, hey?
It's all right. Things are more dramatic here in Arizona. Bill, so ages ago, I suggested that Bill might want to ask everyone a question about the book, and so I'm going to turn the floor over to Bill.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to. Though I have more questions if you're not up for it.
I don't have anything at the moment, but I might think of something.
All right, good. So think and let me know. So this is my question, and some of you have already answered it a bit, but favorite character of the story? Who was your favorite character? I think a few of us didn't like Grace very much, or maybe some of us really didn't like Grace, and some of us have qualms about Grace. So, but she's not properly the villain so much. There are many lovely, wonderful, good characters in the story, not just Miles, who's delightful. So who was someone you really resonated with? Maybe you'd like to cosplay them. Maybe you'd like to have tea with them. Maybe you'd like to go on a date with them. I won't judge. I definitely get book crushes. So I'm going to sort of try and mix it up a bit. I like this. Charity says, hate Grace, love Robin, need more Tristan. That's an excellent summation. All right. Lady June Squirrel, perhaps you could start us out.
Robin. I loved Robin.
Love
and I think the the fact that she was a person of color only came through in little tidbits and I was like, oh, you know, I don't want to step in anything here, but you know what I mean? That I was excited. I liked the way they talked about her hair and all, and I guess I assumed she was a person of color. I'm not sure where it says that, but
I don't think it does say that, but also I think one of the beautiful things about having the book written by a person of color.
Oh, is she? I had no idea.
Yeah.
I hadn't paid attention to the author.
It's all right. I did the little bit of homework. Is that a more diverse, more inclusive arrangement of characters is present in this book. We have queer characters, we have people of color, we have different economic backgrounds. This is an author who's thought about the world as being a richer world. There is not just one socioeconomic class, one sexual orientation, and one ethnic background. And I really appreciate that about her. So thank you, Lady June Squirrel. Robin is a fantastic character and worthy of our own Robin, who is here with us in the conversation today. So, Laura, who was one of your favorite characters?
Well, Miles was my favorite, I think, because we just know the most about him. He gets a lot of character development. I also really did like Robin, and I liked the reveal that she also had powers later in the book. And I hope that we all, in the next book, will get to know more about her.
Yes. Yes. And good night, Cindy Bedford from us from Canada. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy your soup. Sounds really good. Oh. Right. No, Miles is a delight. Robin, I'm looking forward to learning more about her as well. Thank you, Laura. All right, Karen, our author, one of our authors. We have a few authors with us today. Karen, who was her favorite character?
I liked a lot of the characters. Probably Mrs. Sparrow, because I write Mrs. Hudson things. I like that when they get a really cool caretaker character. There's a lot more to her. We've got little hints, and she knew certain things, and I liked Robin as well. I did pick that, it's probably more like there was the one I least liked was Grace. I wouldn't say I hated her, but it just really nagged me that he couldn't see through it. And I've got a sister like that. It just, So if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Mrs. Sparrow, but I really liked Miles and Tristan and Robin, and
Yes.
It's
They're
just
marvelous.
They all got different things about them that I liked.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. Right, Alicia, who is a favorite character for you?
I don't necessarily think I had a favorite character, but I think, as everyone has said, I wanted to see a little bit more with Mrs. Hudson, just because there was the bit with the tea where it's like you get a sense of that hierarchy of people who possibly have it or don't think that it's what it is. So I guess it's that part of the world that I wanted to see more of, which I hope to see in the further books. It just really intrigued me that while magic is so much a part of the world, it's also this thing they don't talk about.
Very taboo.
So I really liked that.
Lovely. Thank you, Alicia. Connie, hello. Who was one of your favorite characters? You're muted, Connie.
Okay, so now I'm no longer muted.
Yes.
I really, as I said, I like both housekeepers, and I want to know more about like Tristan's housekeeper. How does she not know he does magic? And you know how the servants always know more than what they let on just because they need to. And so what is she hiding?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I find that very, but you know what? I was really sad because I really liked the Geralds.
And
it was like, I was like, no, you knew they were
old Gerald and young Gerald.
Yeah, you know that they were the red shirts.
Yeah, they're very sweet characters, though.
Yeah, they were so sweet.
There's that moment with old Gerald when he's had recovery that it's so sweet, and it just paints this amazing picture of the greater world. It's a really good use of character to progress not just that moment with Miles, but it really breathes life into the entire setting.
Yeah, and it was like when it's like you knew, it's like, oh no, I kept hoping, just hoping. And it's like, oh,
right.
Like,
I feared for them. Actually, from about that moment forward, it's like, oh no, not the Geralds.
You're like, you just knew. It's like, oh
dear. No, I fell in love with them. Thank you, Connie. Liz, you're back. Welcome back. Going to give you a moment.
I'm back.
You're back.
Yes.
You made it. Excellent. So,
Yes.
We were in the middle of your previous question. Would you like to finish answering that? And
yeah, so okay, so I figured out what book it was because I looked at the artwork and I was like, hey, I recognize that artwork.
Good.
So I was kind of hoping that it was this particular book. I read it at least 2 years ago and I absolutely loved it. And I feel like maybe I mentioned it to you like 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, or maybe I just intended to and never actually did.
You might know.
I mean, who remembers what happened 2 years ago? I mean, I barely remember what I had for breakfast.
Yes.
So, you know, anyway, I'm really thrilled that the book club read it and that you're discussing it because I did love it so much.
Oh, good.
And so when I inadvertently left, we were discussing overall what we liked best about it, and it seems like I came into the discussion about what our favorite characters were.
Yes, so you may answer both.
Yes. So I really liked the complexity of everything that happened in there. The conflict between the kingdoms and the returning soldiers, and the overall how that worked with the overall background of having to hide your witchy tendencies, and just the complexity of the world building that happens when people have this talent and when they have a talent that they have to hide.
Yes.
And all the different ways that talent can show up and that talent can be used and why that talent has to be hidden. I really liked all of that. And tying that into the characters that we liked. So remembering that it has probably been 2 years since I read this book, I don't have detailed memories of all of the characters, but I do remember when I guess it was Robin who towards the end revealed the fact that she was a witch. Like that really added a level to her character that made me appreciate her character that much more.
Absolutely. And I love Robin. I will say that Robin is one of my favorite characters from the story. And I think some of that is influenced by the times we're living in. She's a nurse, wanting to become a doctor, dealing with these horrific circumstances. And it felt so absolutely on point for these times. So she's a fantastic character. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and I want to say I'm thrilled to hear from this discussion that I guess there's a sequel to this book, because it really left me wanting a lot more.
Yes.
And regarding the character of Grace, I kind of remember thinking of her as kind of a bit of a like pain in the neck older sister. I did not hate her as much as some people have, except for there was that one thing where she was so dismissive of his identity, where she was like, seriously, you're still dating men. Should you not be marrying like a woman at this point?
Right.
And that's when I kind of wanted to have words with Grace about that.
Yeah.
So.
It was a very real moment too, I think. Just something that queer folks have always had experiences with, thinking they would grow out of it. It's just a phase. They'll grow out, they'll settle down, they'll do the right thing. So it was a really good moment in the story. Thank you, Liz. I also have to apologize to everyone. I am reminded that CL Polk uses they them pronouns and not she her. So my apologies and also my correction. Right, so Laurel, who has joined us because you liked the book. Laurel, so happy you're here and to know you. Who's your favorite character or a favorite character?
Well, I like Miles the best, but I enjoyed very much the relationship between Miles and Tristan.
Yes.
Particularly since I've had some experiences. Have you ever met somebody who is like movie star handsome? I don't mean ordinary handsome. I mean, oh my God, look at those eyes.
Yes.
And immediately, every time you look at them, you lose 10 eyes. And you think, how must it be to go through your life being so good looking that people are stupider around you than they are any other time?
Yeah, no.
Sorry for Tristan.
Yeah, that's a wonderful description of it. And yes, in my professional life, I've actually worked with some individuals from Hollywood, and they are absurdly pretty. So it's very distracting.
There was this guy on the train once, and I stared at him the whole hour and a half it took to get to uni.
Oh,
I still remember his face.
I remember a gentleman in Italy on the train, very akin to that. Very distracting, but it was standing room only, so he and I got to stand about this far apart for about 30 minutes. Very distracting. I should have asked his name, but I was too bashful. So, right, let's see. Cindy Joy, have we asked you your favorite character? Right, oh, it's your turn.
My turn?
Yes.
So I have a favorite class of characters.
Oh, perfect.
Which is the secondary characters. She gave more life to the background characters than you usually get.
Yes.
Even like the 15 that we met at the very end of the book had more personality and gave more to the story than you frequently get. And, you know, and the bicycle riders that you encountered going to and from work had, you know, contributed more to the story than you would get out of a normal traffic jam. And I really liked the way that she added that life to the story. Yes. And you can't see my hands because I talk with my hands, so I should.
Anyway, it's all right. I talk with my hands. It's very good.
Yeah. So so I liked that whole secondary class of characters, which starts with, you know, the hierarchy of Robin and the landladies and Mrs. Sparrow and Mrs. Bass and you know, the valet and the driver and you know, and then goes down to, you know, the grocery boys and they just they added so much richness to the story that and to squeeze all that into a story that just like, and really I read this book in less than a week. It just, you know, and I don't sit around and read all the time. I read I only have time to read like an hour or two a day. So for me to blow through the whole book in a week was it was pretty fast.
It's a real page scorcher. I know I've said that multiple times now, but it's just compulsively readable. So.
But to add that much fullness and depth with the background characters really added a lot to the book. So as far as adding to the book, I thought that the secondary characters were of vast importance.
I love that observation. I love that. It's really good. All right. So I think Charity and Robin, I haven't called on you yet. So Charity, favorite character?
So my favorite main character would be Tristan, because he's very cool, but trying not to be cool, but never uses his powers the way he could.
Yes.
He actively tries to be a good person, which is beautiful and so rare in very pretty characters. Robin is my second, because I just wanted her to freak out and start yelling at people a lot more. But every time she said, "Today's not that bad of a day," before denying him a cigarette, I'm like, my heart.
Right. She's great.
And my hatred character is Grace, because she does grow. She has an arc. The second book is all about her. I realize it, but I want to punch her in the face every time I hear her stinky little name. just because I've met her in real life. I know her. I know she doesn't mean to be an acid washed piece of garbage, but she is, and I hate her.
Oh, that's very visceral. She also reminds me of quite a few characters of that type in literature about England, you know, and the brother who they feel like needs managing, only Miles does not need to be managed. So
Exactly.
right.
And that just, oh, it irks the very
Yeah.
marrow of my bones.
Very irksome. Thank you, Charity. I will never forget that analogy for how Grace is. Robin, I've saved you for the end because, well, one of our characters is named after you, obviously.
Just keep hearing my name and nothing but wonderful, good things.
Right. Well, there are only good things to say about you.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, because I really liked Robin. My only complaint was in the beginning, it's like, yes, we have Tristan, we have his faithful assistant Robin, and then zip, zip, zip. But it kind of made her absence all the more powerful when it's, you know, it goes in and she's like, you're gonna need a cigarette, and I'm like, oh boy, things be bad. The other character I really liked, which no one else has mentioned, is Alice, who was the photographic memory typist, which is a very, very valuable skill to have when you work, you know, there. Absolutely. And she would, you know, and again, they'd like, we would turn her into a journalist and, you know, thing if she, you know, could really, really write. But that's not really her forte. Like that woman needs, like, she needs a detective agency. Like,
have you read the second book?
Not yet.
Okay, well then, you will see more.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dive into that second book right away.
Yeah, we're all going to dive in. I also honestly was waiting for the shoe to drop with Tristan. I'm like, that he didn't just randomly find the dude get murdered. I was like, wait, no, there's got to be something with him. Come on, there's the, you know, handsome men just don't drop out of the sky. And then at the end, it's like, oh, apparently they do.
Or do they?
Dun dun dun. Yeah, and then actually one of my favorite moment of the book was at the very end, where it's the one thing that Miles had, just the thing that scared him the most was being trapped and being bound. And actually the redeeming factor of Grace was she freed him and then went, I'm on this crazy train, boys, let's do it. And then in the end, he finds that Tristan has willingly bound himself to him and says, you know, I've bound you because I love you. We're not going to talk about the fact they've only known each other for 2 weeks. It was wonderful. It was sweet, you know. And then it's like, you know, I bound you because bound to you because I loved you. And he's like, I'm free. And it's like, oh, just.
It was a very nice little romance, wasn't it? It was really lovely. Thank you, Robin. That was eloquently put. So, Bill, I'm coming back round to you. I can't remember if I asked you your favorite character, actually. And I do want to hear, but I also thought we're coming around. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. And so perhaps you'd like to share your favorite character and also introduce our book for next month.
Okay. I did I did talk about my favorite characters earlier on, but I'll reiterate again. Robin was my favorite and didn't get nearly enough screen time. So I'm delighted to hear that she plays a role in the second novel. But also I thought the father was an interesting character, just because he had such a huge influence over everything that happened in the book.
A great villain.
And certainly not for the better. So there's that. And our book for next month is Baba Ali and the Clockwork Gin, which I know a couple of you have read before for the in-person book club a few years ago, but it was out of print for a while and it's back now in a new edition. And it's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to talking about that.
I have a question. Is the new edition very different? I know there was a Kickstarter for the new edition too. Is it very different from the old edition? Because I have the old edition, so I was wondering.
That's a good question.
I have no idea.
Oh, well, you
I
should
think
know that.
it's got a different cover, certainly, but I don't think the text is substantially different.
Okay.
I think
okay.
it's the
I
same
wasn't
book.
planning on getting a new copy, for what it's worth, Lady June Squirrel.
Actually, I bought a e-copy too, since I don't read books anymore. So
that's
so I can compare them actually.
Oh, good. You'll be our reporter. So, and we will have the author with us.
Cool.
To discuss that. So that would be really lovely. And
possibly both of them.
Possibly both. And we are looking at Pimp My Airship by Maurice Broaddus for March. So it should be a lively read for March.
Pimp My Airship.
Pimp My Airship.
Yep.
I've got that right. Good.
Yes, you do.
So Karen, this means you're 2 books. You have 2 books to try and procure. Give you a little bit of time to get them to Australia.
I think I've already got Baba Ali. I think
Excellent.
I bought it on one of my things. Well, I just checked my order history and I have ordered it. So somewhere I've got it.
All right, excellent. So we're about to wrap up for the evening. We have about 10 minutes left of book club. I don't know why I pretend like it's going to be an hour. We always go an hour and a half. It's like I lie to myself. I like talking to all of you too much to wrap it up too quickly. So, but if anyone has a question, please post it in the chat, or just turn off your mic and ask. Bill, do you have any questions to throw out to the group before we wrap up?
Just one more quick observation. It occurs to me how much of this book is actually about the topic of slavery.
Yes, it is.
Very, very much so. I mean, the voluntary slavery of the secondary mages and the involuntary one of the witches.
Not voluntary. Not voluntary. Social hierarchy means it's not voluntary.
You did see the air quotes I did, right?
Air quotes are very important.
It is very important because some people, it's very small on Facebook. I checked.
Fair enough. Yeah, not strictly voluntary. Yeah.
No, there's a lot I think to unpack that we've only sort of brushed on with the classism, the hierarchy of the various classes, the enforced labor, the slavery of certain segments of the population, the gender politics, the queer politics. All of those things are really interesting topics for discussion. And here is my hope, actually, for 2021 and book club, is that when there's something like this, it's a little bit weightier or deeper or deserving of more discussion. I encourage you, and I hope that you will take up this encouragement, to post your observations, your questions, your thoughts in the Facebook group. It's partly why we have the group, is so that we can discuss things in more depth. But also, please post your recommendations for books there. Share what you're reading. Share what you might like to read. Ask for recommendations yourselves if you're in the mood for something. Use that group. I know a number of you belong to the Parasol Protectorate and a few other wonderful book groups. And I encourage you to use our little book club in the same way, so that we can have a greater discourse outside of our 1 hour and a half together each month. As long as that hour and a half may sound like it would be, it always flies by, at least for me. And I never feel like we do more than just scratch the surface of any book. So let's go a little deeper with the written words in 2021. So that's my hope. I have for the book club. I have many hopes for the future, and I do hope to see many of you in person to talk about books face to face someday after we've all had our vaccines. Please do take good care of yourselves, treasure yourselves as I treasure you. things are not getting better. At least not here in Arizona, not in other places. Do get your vaccine as soon as you're able. In the meantime, stay home, wear a mask.
Wear your damn masks.
Right.
Thank you, Lady June Squill.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
is, you
Do
said
the
what I
thing.
meant. Wash your hands.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
Oh no, it's all right.
Totally fine.
Should.
It's 2021, and if anyone can say, "Damn, it's you," by gum, by gad, by golly, by gosh,
because I'm old.
because you have reached the age in which you do not give any
Oh, those things. Yes.
No bothers given.
No bothers given.
Yes.
That's well put.
No fudge, no nothing.
No bothers given. I like that.
Very good.
It's adult language.
That's right, it is, and we are adults. So
Yes.
no flying figs to see. Thank you, very well said, Alicia. So to our Facebook friends, to Fairy Godmother, who's been with us on Facebook, I wish you a very good evening. I'm going to take us off of Facebook Live, and we will be back on the 3rd Sunday of February to discuss Baba Oli and the Clockwork Gin. And same time, same station. Watch for the events page. I will try and get that up sooner rather than later.